I'm not going to speak to one's innocence or one's guilt about something I have absolutely positively no knowledge of whatsoever.
Now we got Stephen A. making it very clear he is not coming out and fully defending Shannon Sharpe as it pertains to this lawsuit. Check this out. Like the video and subscribe. Let's get it.
It's been a difficult week from a sports media perspective, certainly as it pertains to First Take. Shannon Sharpe became a friend. When I recruited him to come on board on ESPN's First Take, he came on board and he did a sensational job. No matter the amount of success that we enjoyed for the 12 years prior to his arrival, he helped take it to another level last year. And we were doing our thing this year as well. And so when the news came down that he and ESPN had mutually agreed that he would need to come off the airwaves of ESPN, it was a blow to the show, a blow to me personally, because I'm gonna miss him. But it was not a surprise. When I was on the air just a few days ago, a lot of people were looking for me to say something. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to speak to one's innocence or one's guilt about something I have absolutely positively no knowledge of whatsoever. Do I believe that Shannon Sharpe is guilty of what he has been accused of? Absolutely not. That is my personal opinion. The brother that I've come to know, I don't believe would assault or rape anybody. And I'm going to state that emphatically. But just as emphatically, I'm going to remind everybody it is my opinion because of what I feel about him. Not in any way implying that I know a damn thing beyond that, because I don't know. I've seen the text messages released by his lawyer, who, by the way, I don't think has been impressive in this at all, because some of the information that was let out to the public, I have no idea why a lawyer would advise such a thing, but that's a different subject for another day. And we're allowed to deduce from an opinion perspective what we believe and what we don't, so long as we concede that we have no way of knowing definitively what the truth is. What I can speak about is the fact that this three-time Super Bowl champion and this Hall of Famer, who emphatically stated to me over the phone how innocent he is of these allegations that have been levied against him, insisting repeatedly that anything you read, anything you see, anything you hear was fully and totally consensual. In the same breath, what's inescapable is that without us knowing all the merits, he was working with Disney, where I've worked since 2003, excluding my departure from 2009 to 2011, when I was gone for those 2 years. Outside of that, I've been at Disney since October of 2003. I know this place. I know the worldwide leader that is ESPN, who's under the umbrella of Disney. And it wasn't difficult for me to figure out what was transpiring. As I sit here before you today discussing this matter, ESPN and Disney have a wait and see attitude when it comes to whatever evidence they may learn about this entire situation involving Shannon Sharpe from a legal and from a civil perspective. What they didn't need, as it pertains to those two things that I just mentioned, they didn't need any definitive evidence at this particular moment in time about all of that stuff once all the things Shannon Sharpe's lawyer put out there. It was uncomfortable to listen to, and it was not something that Walt Disney once associated with its brand. So to have him on the airwaves while all of that stuff was put out there was not something that Disney was going to take. That is what I mean when I say I am not surprised. In getting to know Shannon Sharpe, I know a lot of things that he has articulated that he has been through in his life. I can't imagine too many things in life tougher than what he's going through now. And there's a lot of people out there talking a lot of smack and a lot of stuff about him. You will never hear that from me. It will not happen. I don't give a damn if we speak a day from now, a month from now, a year from now, years from now. He's my friend. And it's always going to be that way. I'd say the same thing to you about anybody else that I know to be my friend. I don't have to work with you. I don't have to be around you. I don't have to be around you all the time, talking to you all the time, to have love for you and to wish you the best. And that's exactly what it's going to be for him. I sincerely hope that all of this goes away and we find there's a bunch of falsehoods to these allegations and he's able to come back in this industry and do what he has been doing, which has been phenomenal. I hope Club Shay Shay and Nightcap and all of these other things that he's associated with, that he continues to thrive in his life and move forward. And whatever mistakes he may have made along the way, I'm not talking from a legal or civil perspective, I'm talking about in his eyes or that of others, whether it be moral or something else. I hope that he corrects whatever he feels he needs to correct and he moves forward. But in the process of doing all of that, I hope we're all reminded of a few things. And this extends far beyond a Shannon Sharpe or anybody else. One of the things that we need to remind ourselves of is that in this day and age, very few things are private. In this day and age, there's very few things that won't come to light, because most things do.
So Stephen A is very well spoken. I think he's in the middle with this situation. I don't think he wants to completely throw Shannon under the bus. I know a lot of y'all feel like that's basically what he's doing every time he talks about this situation. A lot of people feel like Stephen A should be defending Shannon a little bit more. In my opinion, like I said, he's stuck in the middle. I'm sure people at ESPN are asking Stephen, hey, what happened? You put this liability in our laps. Now we have to deal with the downfall of this. And I think this whole thing about Shannon stepping down is about his contract and Disney and Shannon trying to figure out what's going to happen next. Do they give him some of that money from his contract, or are they able to cut ties without paying him? Because a lot of people feel like Shannon's going to need money to settle some upcoming lawsuits and other victims that might come out. Who knows? I'm not trying to say Shannon did all of this, but like people keep referring to, the playbook for Tony Busby is make enough noise so more people come out, and then he'll take the cases and he'll make money off of every one of your so-called victims, right? And like I said, Stephen A is very professional. He's not going to completely say Shannon did these things, it's over. I see him kind of, playing both sides. On one hand, he's saying, I'm not going to defend Shannon on a situation I have no idea about, but he'll also speak to Shannon's character as he knows it. But at the same time, to me, is Stephen A and Shannon best friends? I don't think so. I think they, are professional and they're play friends, right? When Shannon was going through his situation at Undisputed, Stephen A stepped in and they were acting like buddy, but at the same time, Stephen A saw a check when it came to Shannon Sharpe. He knew how powerful First Take would be if he got Shannon Sharpe with him to do the show. It would completely overthrow Undisputed and every other sports show around. You got the best guy from Undisputed and Stephen A, the main guy at First Take, and it was a hit. Still is a hit if Shannon can continue to work. So we may have thought that they were best friends and buddy, and Stephen A came in and helped Shannon at his lowest after, the situation at Undisputed. But to me, it's business. It's business. Now, I see Stephen A talking about the lawyer for Shannon, and he doesn't like the lawyer, and the lawyer made a mistake putting out these text messages, and it made him very uncomfortable. Hell, I'm sure it made Shannon uncomfortable as well. But when Tony Busby is putting out all of this information and planning to put out a certain video, I think, I'm not saying it was the best idea, but I think Shannon going on the offensive kind of steered them away from releasing this 30-second clip of a tape that Shannon seemed to be so afraid of, if you ask me. And yeah, it is Disney. And see, I was surprised when when Steven said there's a wait and see policy. I was like, hold on, it's a wait and see? But going back to that contract negotiation I told y'all about, I don't think they're doing as much waiting as they're just trying to plan their steps accordingly. Unfortunately, I think it's over for Shannon at ESPN. It'd be nice to see him go back, but I think there would have to be a complete withdrawal and just everything is dismissed. He was found innocent. I think the girl might have to come out and apologize and say, she was hurt and wrong and she lied. I think it has to be something drastic like that for ESPN to get back in bed with Shannon, especially with so many people already feeling like, well, he had this track record that maybe the public didn't know about, but I think the industry knew about. And I don't think Disney is in the business of taking too many chances. They gave him a chance with the video and the IG Live. I don't think he's going to get another chance after this. Even if it quietly goes away, I don't think ESPN is going to stay by his side. Now, he'll still have, his podcast and Nightcap, but First Take, I don't know. But I really doubt it. I'm just being real with y'all.